Hello, hello everyone. It's Amy Yamada here, live from Fort Lauderdale in Florida. So it's so fun to be on the road and still here with you for our May Marketing Boot Camp. So if we haven't connected yet, my name is Amy Yamada, and I'm here to help you to deeply connect with yourself, your vision, and your ideal clients so that you can create the impact and the income that you've always wanted. So like I said, this is super fun. Like normally I'm either back home in Kirkland, Washington, or sometimes I'm on the road, and here I am in Florida. And get this, I don't know if you could see, but I have this beautiful ocean view of the Atlantic Ocean. And so last night, and my dear friend Olga, who's also on my dream team, is with me. She's one of my dearest friends too, so she's with me. And I was like, let's keep the sliding door open. And all night, all we heard were the waves crashing. And I was like, oh my gosh, people, I was saying to her when we were about to go to sleep last night, I was like, people pay for like the sound of the ocean, when you push play or you listen to it on an iPod or something, it's like whoosh, just that ocean coming in. I'm like, this is speaking my language, because one of my dreams is to one day live on the ocean and or have a second home on the ocean, because I want to fall asleep to that sound every single night. So super happy to be here for an awesome event. Actually, I recently met Lisa Sasevich. We become friends, and she's like, I would love for you to come and just be my guest at my event. And so part of this that I wanted to share with you before I go into today's topic is that my big dream for this year is my dream big event, right? So I'm hosting my first 3-day live event in October, and more details on that coming soon. And so for me to, have seen my business mentor, Shanda Sumter, rock out her zone event over the years, and I've been to some other events like Pete Vargas's event. Years ago, I went to David Nagel's event, and now we're collaborating on something, and now being here for Lisa. It's so awesome to surround myself with other purpose-driven entrepreneurs, and I get that oomph, that energy that comes through. And this is the power of surrounding yourself by those you want to be influenced by. And if you don't already have an awesome community, or if you're not already connected in, like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I love to give and give and give, and it's so nice to be able to attend and support and also receive, right? Receive the guidance, receive the energy that we all get to have if we choose it, to be able to do the work that we want to do in this world. So I just wanted to say that because I'm in this energy. We just got through, since now I'm East Coast time, we just got through the first half of day one, and taking a little break here, and to be here with all of you. So super happy to be here. So today is one of my favorite topics. This week is all about connection. So yesterday you got to hear from my colleague Jackie Cote about how to connect with the media to connect with your audience. If you missed that one, I encourage you to go back and watch it. And we've been talking about how to connect through Facebook Lives and connect through Facebook Messenger and texting. So there's all sorts of ways that you can connect with your ideal clients. Here at this event, we're talking about speak to sell, so there are people who really focus on speaking and selling from that component. So there's so many great ways to connect with your ideal client, and it's about making that list of all the different ways. So remember a few days ago, that's what I did, was I just gave you a bunch of bullet points on there's so many ways to attract your clients, and it's about you selecting your top 2, maybe 3 ways that you want to attract clients, and then using my framework that I'm gifting to you throughout this marketing boot camp to put your work into the framework and go out there and use it in the world to build deep connection through your message and really being your message and embodying your message. And for today, I was thinking back to when I was in Hawaii, and I know some of you may have heard me share this story before. It's one of my favorites. So I was in Hawaii at a mastermind event, and that's when my colleague and dear friend Tracy Campoli was saying, I've got to book more sales calls on my calendar. And she's got a great following, and she was sending emails to her list, and she's like, yeah, it's done okay, but not great. And she needed to write an email that evening after a full day of training, and so she was like, I need to shoot a video. She had 3 things to do after a full day of training. So I don't know about you, but if you've ever attended a conference or a mastermind event, after a full day, I find that it's great to be able to process and take some me time, or even socialize, something to kind of give the brain a break, right? And here she had these 3 big tasks to do for her business, and she was so committed. So I was like, Tracy, you know what? Give me your laptop. I'm gonna write your email for you to your list. And she's like, really? I said, yeah. And this is the generosity piece that I also encourage in my community with Powerhouse. And so I grabbed her laptop. We were in a hotel room just like this. See? Sorry, our beds haven't been officially made. I try to make it nice for you ladies and gentlemen. And so grabbed her laptop, and we had another ocean view room, right? It's all about creating the freedom lifestyle. And I just kind of did my process where I really connected in with who her ideal clients are, and I asked her some questions. Now, typically I do not provide copywriting for others. It's something I enjoy. Like, I do like to provide the framework and guidance and support and my 11-step process to do it. But here's what was so cool about that moment. And I want you to hear this because generosity always wins, okay? So I sat down, I got into my centered place to write this email, and I wrote this email to her, and then I shared it with her. I was pretty proud of this email, right? So I read it to her, and she was like, that's effing, I won't say the word, but she said, that's effing brilliant. How did you do that? You know, she's a New Yorker, right? And I said to her, I was like, well, you know, first I think about first I connect with your ideal client, then I think about the subject line that gets opened, then I think about, so I started just like rattling. She said, stop right now. And she got out her phone and she said, you've got a system, I want it. And she pressed record, break it down. She said, break it down, break down your system. And what was wild was that I had never thought about how I write emails as having a system. So I want you to hear that because there might be something that you automatically do for people, or that it's so easy for you to do something. And maybe you're a coach like me or a mentor like me, and you teach people how to do something and then they do it. And I don't know about you, but I'm always an open book, right? Where you tell them how to do something and they go off and do it and they don't get the results. And you're like, well, wait a minute, tell me what you did or show me what you did. And what I noticed was that people who I've given an overview to on how to write these deeply connecting emails were not getting it. Like, I would read their email and I'm like, oh no, this is not, I can see components of what I taught, but this is not going to land. It's not going to be received or heard by your ideal client. Like, it's just not going to happen. Either it's too long, or it's got, maybe it's speaking to too many people, or it's just really vague, or there's no strong call to action, or the transitions aren't smooth. I see mistakes in email copywriting all the time, and I know their intention is good, right? So if this is you, like if I've named any of the things that you're like, oh my gosh, I've done that, then just take a deep breath, and that's why I'm here to help you. So it was cool, bringing back to my story with Tracy, was that she sent out the email the next morning, right? She's scheduled to send out. And we're in our mastermind event, right? So we're sitting next to each other, and there's like 100 people there, right? In our mastermind group, it's an awesome group. And at one point she, glances at her phone, which, by the way, I don't recommend doing that at a mastermind event, but she glances at her phone and she looks at me, she's like, oh my God. And I was like, what? She's like clients were booking calls like that. Booking sales calls like that. So my point is, the message in the email truly landed with her audience, her email list, to the point where her calendar, which she only opened up for a week, which is another side note, by the way, if you're someone who books calls from an email, I would say don't open it up more than like 5 days out. I've even recently heard 3 days is good, but 5 days I think is pretty solid. And so she had opened up 25 spots, and in her case, she has a salesperson, right? So 25 spots with her salesperson. They all got filled, and she had 5 more people get on a waiting list to speak to someone on her team. That's 30 people, and she teaches weight loss. That's 30 women, she teaches weight loss for women, who are ready and lined up to talk to her and her team. Do you know how much of a difference that can make in your business when you also have a great offering? Those 30, I should go back and find out, but from those 30 people, she could have probably easily made, and this is where I don't have the numbers, but my point is, she used my system, right? Once she knew my 11-step process, that I didn't even know was 11-step process until she had me break it down, and now it's my system that I teach my powerhouse clients, right? She used that system throughout her entire enrollment period, which was like 3 months. And in those 3 months did something around the lines of like $245,000 in sales using my system. So she's like, I hope you're teaching this. And not only that, I hope you're breaking it down like this in this way to your clients, because this is gold. And I was like, this is the first time I've ever broken it down like this, right? So my point is, when you can think about your own process and break it down into a framework of what has made a difference for you and maybe others you've helped, whether they are paying clients or not, it is gold. And that's when you get the tangible results and you can share them, like in this form of storytelling, right? I've shared with you some of this PSR, problem, solution, result. That's the storytelling format that I'm now teaching. Problem, solution, result. So Tracy had a problem. She wasn't booking sales calls. The solution was my 11-step email marketing process, right? It's like email marketing email that deeply connects and converts, right? So it's 11-step process. And then the result was, in that case, 30 people lined up to talk to her in 1 week. And then she used my system, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Same framework, different emails. It was deeply connecting, and she got the result, right? And so I'm like, okay, what would that be worth to someone? You know, for my ideal client who's wanting to bridge the gap, right? Build that deep connection with their audience and increase their sales. What would that be worth to someone? So when you have that intellectual property and you're able to sell it and articulate it with confidence, it's pretty badass, right? So it feels really good. So I even shared part of the story on the stage last year at the Zone event, and there were people who used what I shared from the stage that night, like it was day one of a 3-day event. And then I would run into people the next day, and they were like stopping me. You know, I was a speaker, so everyone was stopping me left and right. And I remember this woman who was like, Amy, oh my gosh, I've been trying to get my email list to book calls with me for like months, and I've gotten crickets. And she said, and I used what you taught yesterday. I wanted to put it to work right away. I'm like, smart woman. She put it to work right away, and within an hour, I think 7 people had already booked a call with her. Within 1 hour of sending out the email, 7 people. So regardless of the numbers, just know that when you can write an email that deeply connects with your clients, that deeply connects with your audience, it will bring people to the surface so they'll be lined up to talk to you. Okay? You excited? I'm excited to share this with you. Okay. So for today, it's so funny. I'm not used to this like background. So I'm like, okay, how's the bed looking? I get to let that go. Like this is all not in perfection. Okay. Okay. So today I'm going to share with you the 3 most essential elements to write an email that deeply connects with your ideal clients, brings them to the surface, and converts. Now, I know that some of you may not have an email list, and some of you have a list or maybe a baby list. Maybe there's like a few hundred people, and there may be others who have a more substantial list. Say it's 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 plus. So wherever you are in the process, just hear what you're meant to hear. Of course, if you have a baby list, then you may still use this and you may not get the response because it is about a percentage of the people that will even open your emails, and then a percentage of those opens that will actually respond to you. So I hate the phrase, I'm gonna say it, it is a numbers game. It is a numbers game. So I do believe in list building. I personally do not teach it. I will say that some of the great methods and strategies for building a list are through summits, or sometimes called an online show or summit model, which is what my mentor teaches, Shanda Sumter. Devney Freeman, she's great at teaching online challenges. So if you want to do like a 7-day clean eating challenge, you know, there's things you can do, or you can do what I love to do also, is speak from a stage where you're able to do a room drop. So that's when a card is handed out to everybody after you do a talk or during your talk, and they fill in their information and they're saying, you know, they're also checking a box saying, I am willing to receive your email. So there's different ways to build your email list. There's more than that, but I just wanted to share with you some ways to build your email list. And I do encourage you to do that. I do. You can still use these elements that I'm going to share with you today that are relevant in other forms of communication. So from Facebook Lives, from the stage. So they're elements of it, okay? But today I'm really focusing on email copywriting. This is gold. Okay, so the 3 essential elements out of my 11, these are the 3 most important ones. Number 1 is to include a deep connection statement early on in your email. So let me give you an example. Let me back up for a moment. When you give an example, make sure that it's something that can really resonate with the recipient. So you can think about, what is it that your client's going through? You know, what are they experiencing? What's their pain point? Or what opportunities are in front of them that they're holding themselves back from? You know, what is it? What is it? And then you get to share your own personal story, or it might be a story of someone you know. Maybe it's a client and you're sharing their story, or a colleague or friend. I like to share personal stories because then it builds a deep connection with me, and then when I meet people, they feel like they know me and I have an understanding of them because I've really studied my audience. So I know that one pain point for my clients is this very topic, that they're not getting a response from their email list. So I might write, so this is me just thinking, like actually going through my process, right? So first of all, like think about, okay, what are they going through and what's a deep connection statement? What's something they may be feeling that in the moment that is part of the problem? So I'll think back to when I was going through that myself, when my message wasn't strong, when my emails weren't landing, so I might say something like this. Here's a good starter. I'll never forget the moment when, or this reminds me of, right? Or this reminds me of a time when. So it doesn't have to be those words, but these are some framework starters, okay? So I could say, I'll never forget the moment when I was sitting in my home office, staring at my laptop screen, and I'd sent out yet another email to my list, and I felt like no one was getting back to me, or nothing was happening, or I felt like nobody cared about what I had to say because I was getting no response, and I'll actually drop into my heart and think back to that moment. Where was I? What was the feeling? If I actually took it a step deeper, I'd say, I didn't know what I should do because every time I sent out an email, nothing would happen. That's my real story. And so when you insert a deep connection statement where the recipient reads it and they're like, oh my gosh, that's me, then you've earned their eyeballs for the rest of the email. For Tracy, who teaches women how to lose weight. Now, Tracy, while she has had her own story, like she was a ballet dancer and she was all about having the perfect body. So while she didn't ever have obesity issues or overweight issues herself, she did have a perfectionism and a body image issue, right? So she can relate to her clients. However, her clients are those who want to lose 20, 30, 50 plus pounds. So I said to her, maybe you should share a story of someone that is your ideal client. And I said, I'm actually your ideal client, and now I'm on my journey myself of, really toning up. And so, 15, 20 pounds. So I really said, I'll be vulnerable and use me in this story. So I said to her, women who have been this is truly a vulnerable statement, a vulnerable deep connection statement. And I'm like, and this is going to land with any woman who's ever felt this way, right? So I said, so she shared a story. I wrote the email, but she was sharing a story about me where the deep connection statement was this. Every single day, there's a moment where I think about my body and I feel fat. Like, that's super vulnerable, right? Super vulnerable. And any woman who can relate to that statement will say, oh my God, that's me. I feel that way. Every single day there's a moment where I just look at my body, or I put on my clothing, or I look in my closet and it's like, damn it, I feel fat and I should do something about it, right? That was in that email that she sent out that got such a great response. So do you see how if you just deeply connect and share a vulnerable statement, either your own or someone you know, and of course be mindful of if you're going to share somebody's vulnerabilities, ask them if it's okay, or change the name, whatever you need to do. You see what I'm saying? So that will earn their eyeballs for the rest of the email. The rest of the email. You can use this in other formats, speaking from a stage, speaking from a Facebook Live. Be willing to go deep with them. So that's number one, include a deep connection statement early on in your email. The second one is to write as if you're writing to one person. Now, I know everyone says to write as if you're writing to one person, but they don't show you how. So this is how I do it. Okay, so what I do is I think about one of my own clients or someone I've recently spoken to who embodies my ideal client. I think about that person. And then I pull up my own, in my personal email, so in my own email inbox. So instead of going into Aweber or Infusionsoft or, MailChimp, whatever you use, right? I pull up an actual draft, a new composition draft in my own personal email inbox, and I write the draft in that. And the reason why I do this is that I know that I want to write as if I'm writing to one person. This way I'm working with my subconscious mind, which is where all of our decisions are made, right? It's we're 90% or something subconscious mind. So I'm telling my subconscious mind that I'm truly writing to one person. So instead of getting into overthinking land, right, where it's oh, what should I say? And I put this marketing hat on and suddenly I don't even sound like me and I'm using words and phrases that don't even they're not even authentic to me. I'm using my own authenticity, and I'm thinking about my ideal client and how would I reach out to them. So a little extra tip that I'm gonna give you here today. Subject lines. When you're writing a subject line, sometimes you'll write these beautifully, deeply connected emails and they're not even getting seen because your subject line didn't invite them to open it. So if you're looking for ideas on subject lines, go to your own sent items and look at the subject lines you write all the time when you're writing to someone one-on-one. It's a totally great swipe file. Like I remember when I was brainstorming, I was like, oh, what do I want to use in my subject line? And it wasn't coming to me. So my best kept secret was to go to my own sent items and look at them. I mean, obviously some of them didn't make sense for this format or this email. However, it can give you inspiration of what your own authentic voice sounds like. For me, it's very personally connecting. So I went from being in the corporate world where I felt like I could be super professional. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. And depending on what profession you're in, like honor that. For me, I like to be personable. So I might say, hey, let's chat. I'm like, that's a great subject line. Hey, let's chat. Or are you around this week? Or here's what's coming up. Now, if I'm writing emails that are about a specific training I'm going to do, then I will include what the training is about, right? But if it's a lead gen email or a deep connection email with a call to action to bring people forward, then it'll usually be more of like that personal deep connection subject line, okay? So the third element, is the PS, how you end the email. So, okay, let me back up. How you end the email. So first of all, how do you typically end the email in terms of your closing remarks? I'm trying to think of what's exactly called that. But sometimes people say, in greatness and prosperity and health, and it's like, okay, would you write that to one person? Like I used to do that, to health, happiness, and abundance. I would have some catchy, it can be fun. So you decide what's in alignment with you. I'm an XOXO kind of girl. Like I love hugs and kisses. So I do that. And even though some people are like, yeah, but why would you do XOXO when there's so many people you haven't even met yet? And I'm like, I'm only a stranger until I meet them. And if I get the chance to meet you in person, like if you come to Powerhouse, California, or if you come to my Dream Big event in October, if we have the opportunity and you're cool with it, I am going to hug you. Like I am a professional hugger, right? Like I love it. So I'm just like, if somebody is so turned off by my like XOXO, how I sign off my email, they're probably not my ideal client. It's okay. Like they can unsubscribe, it's all good. So think about how you like to end your emails as far as the sign off, and then the PS, okay? Now, there's different ways to use a PS. Also, the PS is, I believe, still the statistic about, it's the second most read part of your email, like it's the opening line and the PS. So I like to use the PS for one of two things. So one is I always think about the yeah buts, right? Yeah, but Amy, so if I have a call to action of booking a call with me or someone on my team so that we can help you with business strategy or help you with your marketing message, and I'm thinking, what might their yeah but be, right? They might be like, yeah, but Amy, like I've done calls like this before and I just don't feel like I'm gonna have breakthrough. Or yeah, but Amy, I'm so busy, I don't have the time, right? So think about your audience. What's their yeah, but, right? So I'm like, yeah, but Amy. So, and the PS, all right, I know you might be thinking, I know you might be thinking, gosh, I'm just so busy, I don't have time for this. And then I handle that. It's like handling a mini objection with even a free offer. Even when you offer generosity and like something for free, they might still say, yeah, but this, right? So in the PS, I'll say, I know you might be thinking, gosh, I just don't even have time for this, or I don't know when I can fit this in my day. And then I lead with compassion. I hear you, and I know how full your schedule is, and this could be the game changer, or this could be the missing piece that helps you to, and then I'll relate it back to what's in the email, like what the theme is of the email. This may help you have that next big breakthrough in having a unique and powerful marketing message that attracts your ideal clients. So before these spots book up, click on the link and let's chat this week, right? Keep it really simple. So in the PS, think about the yeah buts, address the yeah but, and then repeat the call to action, okay? So those are the three, just to recap. Number one, include a deep connection statement early on in your email, and I gave a couple examples of that. The second is to write as if you're writing to one person and draft it up in your personal email inbox first. And then the third is to think about how you end your email with the closing, the sign off, as well as the PS and handling the objection and the yeah but, okay? So On that note, I have time for maybe one or two questions. Okay, I'm gonna go through. Oh, now I'm looking at myself and I see smudgy eyeliner. See, this is me letting go of perfection. Oh, it's so fun doing this in Florida and overlooking the ocean. Hey, Holly. Hey, Courtney. Hey, Tracy. Chandra, Yvette, Kelly, Naomi, Lahia, Judy. So happy to have you here. Yes, Pamela. So happy to have, oh, I just totally messing with my little tripod here. Okay, Sonia. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Or did I just teach this so well that you have no questions? Normally this is when I take a sip of coffee, but it's way over there. Yes, you're welcome, Cambria. Yeah, handle the yeah buts. Yes, so, okay. Valerie says, thank you, Amy. That was amazing. I can totally see how these elements could be helpful in other types of communication. Yes. So whether or not you have a list, I'm telling, like, my sweet spot is deep connection. It really, so think about, what do you hear your clients or ideal clients say all the time? Like, what's their pain point? Or, you know, something that, I'm just gonna give Lisa Sastovich credit. She was saying, they don't say things in marketing speak, so that they're not. It's not like my best clients are coming to me saying, you know, I would like a breakthrough in my marketing message, right? They're not saying those words, and instead they're saying. So this is where I come in with a deep connection statement. They're saying what they really want. You know, my best clients and my most ideal clients, they're like, I just want to make a bigger difference, and I do want to make more money. You know. And they say things like, I just don't know what my next action step should be. Or like, these are the things I hear all the time. I need a clear roadmap. Like, I need a clear plan moving forward, or I need a clear action plan moving forward. Or they'll say, how do you fit so much in your day? Or Amy, I see you doing all these things. Like, how do you fit it all in? I don't even know. I can't even see how you could go from leading, emceeing Metropolitan Fashion Week one night to leading a 2-day mastermind event at the Edgewater in Seattle to flying to Florida for this event while running a team and planning, and I get it. Like, when I hear it back to me, I'm like, damn, I'm doing a lot, right? I also know that I feel more free than ever because I have structure and systems in everything that I do. And that's what I teach my clients in Powerhouse. So think about the things you hear from your clients or people who embody your ideal client all the time. What are they stressed out about? What do they want? What are their words? What are their words and phrases that they use? And that can help define your deeply connecting marketing messaging, your deeply connecting email copy, right? Deep connection copy works. So the next time you write an email to your list, think about these pieces and by all means, use the deep connection statement. Now remember, all marketing is testing. So if it doesn't land right away, it doesn't mean that the framework doesn't work, because I've had so many clients and colleagues who have used my framework, and as they've practiced it, it's gotten better and better, and they're getting the results. So you get to rinse and repeat and practice it. And of course, know that I am going much deeper into this training at Powerhouse California. So if this is the piece that's missing for you right now, and you're hearing, Karina, who came to Powerhouse Florida, she used my framework, and she had 11 calls booked like that, which, while it might not seem like a lot of people, but if you know that you offer a $5,000 or $10,000 or even $1,000 or $20,000 offering, and out of those 11 people, what if one person in 1 week said yes? What would that be worth to you? And what will happen if you don't invest in somehow in fixing this problem, this gap that you have in your business? So to me, it's well worth it when you know that you're investing in yourself by investing in this type of a training, an intensive training that's filling the gap of the very thing you need to start booking those extra calls and booking, like, really bringing to the surface your most ideal, wonderful clients that can be with you for a long time, because you know how to generate the results that they want in their life or their business or their health or what have you, okay? So definitely consider that if that's you, because we only have a few spots left. So if that's you, definitely comment below or ping me, and we'll make sure that someone on my team is in touch with you while I'm traveling. Or I might even jump on the call. I've been known to just pick up the phone and call people if they private message me and they're like, Amy, I would really love to chat with you, even if it's for 5 minutes. Here's my personal cell phone number. I love that. I freaking love it when people take action like that. It's awesome. It's awesome. So on that note, I'm going to wrap this one up. If you think of any other questions, whether you're here live right now and we're wrapping up, or if you're watching the replay or YouTube or blog, go ahead and pop your question below and we'll come back and do our best to answer it in a timely manner. And on that note, wishing you all the best, sending you so much love wherever you are in the world. I will be back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, which now I'm going to get to be used to that for these days that I'm here, to share with you the next step in building connection as part of my Create, Connect offer system. All right, sending you all much love. Mwah. Bye.